Hi there. In this video we are going to be taking a look at a fragile box. Just joking. It's a light fixture. So I bought this thing from an online store in Romania. These are all the informations that I get about it. Should be quite bright at this many lumens 8800, and the total power 186 watts or something like that. So that's a lot of LED power in here. And yes, it should be color changing, have a remote and camera focus. Camera, please focus. Okay, you need to talk nicely to it. All sorts of feature, night light for little kids. Yeah, I know it's a bit childish, the shape of it, but it's for the room that our children also sleep in, so yeah, a little bit of childish works. So yeah, being basically as close as no name as you can get. It's from Lightman, whatever that means, and having exactly the same specs on the other side, so I'm not really sure what's up with that. Anyway, nothing on the other side. I decided, yeah, it's a better idea to test it before installing it onto the ceiling, because if it doesn't work, I should know before going to the trouble to put it up. So we are going to be connecting it to this thing to see how many watts it actually draws in different light states. And we kind of need these particular connections because it only has some weird wires in there. And we also need this to plug into this thingy, and this in here, and then to the light fixture itself. So let's get to it. Let's power it on and see what it does and how bright it is. Hopefully really bright for how much I paid for it, even being basically close to as no name as possible brown box thingy. That was basically the most awkward unboxing I ever did. Let's get this thing out of the box, and it's honestly quite heavy, probably because of this plastic. I'm expecting it to be plastic. This is sheet metal painted white, some galvanized probably metal in here. Let me try and see what I can do in here. I also don't want to scratch it, obviously, so let's somehow turn it around for me to show it to you. This is the off state, and I must say, for a no name, it actually looks quite good. Yeah, it has some friction marks, but it has them on all sheet metals, even where in theory in transport it cannot get friction marks, so it has them from assembly. But yeah, this is going to be 2.5 meters up on the ceiling, so who cares about some tiny friction marks? And I could always take this apart and paint this white once again over the years. So yeah, okay, let me try and get this on top here. Okay, and put this over it. Now I should actually cut this to get to the remote itself. And here we have the remote. And I'm expecting there are no batteries inside of it, as expected. So I'm going to get some AAAs. Honestly, for what it is, yeah, it's light as a feather, don't get me wrong, but it feels really nice in the hand. So the ergonomics of it, quite good. I think this is the pairing button setup. Light color temperature, brightness up and down, RGB for some parts of it, and other RGB probably for other parts. Okay, on off. What is this and what is this? This is night light, but I don't know this. Yeah, it's interesting. This thing, the LED driver, seems to be honestly quite beefy. Let me show you the specs on it. If I can actually somehow rotate it, so it can handle maximum 60 watts times 4. Let me show you a bit closer. Taking the phone out of the tripod like a real pro that I am. So, can I rotate this thingy to show it better to you? Yeah, somehow. I think I rotated fully in the wrong direction or something like that. My bad. Come on. Thing, open now. Okay. So, this is the thing. Basically, once again, a no-name in my opinion. Anyway, that's that. So, it's below its maximum rated, what they are using it here for. As you can see, we are having 1 light strip, 2 light strips, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? That's a bit weird. Maybe some of them are somehow in parallel. Anyway, let's, yeah. How many wires? 3 wires here. 3 wires also here. So yeah, for sure stuff is in parallel in here. But shouldn't matter that much. I don't have any idea why they bothered with this. And look at this PCB inside. The whole PCB is moving inside of this LED driver. Jesus, let me get some light in there. Now that's quality and attention to detail. Awesome. At least what I like, this thing is sitting on a piece of metal and above it it will be the ceiling, so nothing combustible close to it, which is a bit reassuring. Otherwise, anyway. So yeah, let me give it 220 volts right in here with this nice, oh Jesus, these wires are those steel ones, cheap steel ones, aren't they? Or actually they soldered to the ends? Did I do that? They soldered the ends. Okay, this is much more than I expected. Yep, ends are soldered. Okay, nice of them. Anyway, let's connect this and give it a bell and hope everything works. Put some batteries in the remote and it just became 10 times heavier. So there's that. Let me set the meter to watts and give this thing a power on. Okay, I'm going to plug it in now. Ooh. And we are drawing 131 watts at the moment with this, and it's bright. Believe me, it's bright. Let me press long on setup. Hopefully it did recognize it. No, it didn't. Okay. I think I need to turn this thing around. So let's power it off. 130 watts still. Okay. Should be safe to touch because it's out from the socket. Okay, let's find a nice way for the 220 volts cable. Tuck it down there, hopefully it cannot touch anything. And something like that. Okay, let me quickly read the manual and see exactly how I need to pair with this thing. These instructions are quite weird. Anyway, so that one that I didn't know, it's automatic RGB, manual RGB for, I'm guessing, this inside part of it, which is RGB, this is to turn off auxiliary light, and this is 2 watts night light, which I hope it's exactly what I need. And yeah, full brightness and 50% brightness on off, and this is to choose between white, cold or warm white, but you can also go in increments from plus and minus. So yeah, and in theory you press the button that I just did within 5 seconds of turning it on. So not sure why it didn't work, maybe I pressed it too late. So let me try again. Okay, and it did work because it went off and on. And man, this thing is bright. Half brightness at this moment. And honestly, I don't know how it looks on camera, but in reality this thing is looking quite okay. Let's turn off auxiliary light. Turn off. Okay, so this is 2 watts night light. Honestly, I think this is more than 2 watts. It's actually drawing 12 watts from the power socket. Let's go to full brightness, and we are drawing 130 watts at the moment. And I don't know if this is bright enough to light up a full room, honestly. Let's see about RGB mode. RGB mode doing absolutely nothing. That's quite interesting. Or it's actually doing it, but really slowly. So from right here I can change between these modes. So this remote is actually for more than one types of light. So yeah, so I have this mode, and this mode. And I can make it, is this whiter actually? And now I make it yellower. So it's actually even the opposite of what's telling me on the buttons. That's a bit weird. Anyway, this is full yellow. So this is max brightness. Still 130 watts drawing, so it's not drawing as much as they say for sure. Off, let's see how much we are drawing. 0 watts. So the off mode is actually quite off. It's probably drawing just 0 point something watts. Just wanted to show you exactly how many watts we are drawing. So it's 125 now. Camera focus please. 126. This low power mode, 12 watts, and again this is full power and this is half power. So between half power and full power we are actually quite there. But does this light up a room enough? That I'm not sure about. Before taking it into the room, this thing, it's a bit warm and parts around it are a bit warm, but nothing horrible to say like that. So I guess okay. And yeah, these things have, maybe you can have an idea here, it's the lights that many use in their computers. So it's a LED strip going all around inside this plastic or what is it? Plastic? Yeah, it's some plastic, plexig maybe. Anyway, so the whole thing is made with LED strips basically. Not really efficient way of lighting stuff up, but yeah. Did a test in our bedroom. This thing does not light up like a 130 watts LED. They say it's 188. Never ever. Or am I wrong? Let me check the box once again. No, they say it's actually 186 watts. Yeah, no, it's not. This thing gives as much light, no, actually more light than 3 12-watt LED bulbs. So this thing gives light like a 40-watt LED light fixture from a reputable brand. So this is highly inefficient, but must admit, it looks quite cool even with this pink right here, but you don't need to use that pink all the time. Let's get rid of it. There, this is not better. What? Yeah, maybe this, but it's blue now. Anyway, all that I can say is that my wife likes it, so we are going to be using this mode that uses 12 watts. It's too much for a night light, so if you have a child, depending on how you sleep, it might be a bit too much. For us, it's too much, so this mode probably will almost never be used. But hey, it's there, what can I say? But again, this is highly inefficient, so you are buying this thing for the design, if you like it, obviously, but not for the light power. So next I will show it to you installed on the ceiling, and yeah, that's about it. So let's continue. Forgot to film, so I'm getting ready to install this thing onto the ceiling. Made the connections right here, installed this thingy, and in theory we will just hang this on the screws, again with these weird holes, and it should light up and work, hopefully. Okay, it's onto the ceiling, let's turn it on. This is the low setting. This is really pink. Weirdly enough, this is even more pink. And this is almost a neutral white, but still a bit pink. So yeah, and again, low setting. That's about that. Installed, working, really bad quality. The fixtures to install it onto the ceiling, extremely badly made. Anyway, I have them, I installed them, hopefully they will last. If they don't, yeah, going to the bin, because there is nothing that you can recycle from this thing. But I can highly say that I do not recommend you buy them. They are cool, but they are highly inefficient and really bad quality once again. So that's about that for this video. At this point in time, I'm 99.9% sure that this thing emits lots of UV light. You can see from the purple hue, because I stayed under this thing for about 10 minutes and my eyes started to hurt quite a lot, honestly. So this is not usable. China, stop doing products that are basically dangerous. I understand cheap quality, whatever. Don't make dangerous stuff. Anyway, I will try to open it up and see if I can spot which one of the strands emits, probably that one, this UV light, and replace it with a different color, whatever color, doesn't matter, not UV. This is off from the ceiling, trying to pinpoint what exactly gives that purple toxic light, toxic quotation marks, but hazardous, whatever you want to call it. First I thought that this part right here, but something is telling me that this just illuminates the stars. Basically it's wasted light because almost nothing comes. As I was saying before, space ran out on my phone. The lighting here is basically wasted through these stars, but hey, that's with designer light fixtures. They are not efficient, they are beautiful. If they are also efficient, that's awesome. Let's plug this in and see where we actually get the purple light from. And it's not from here. And look how much light this gives out. And yes, dangerous voltage from 120 to 190 volts in these LEDs. So do not freaking touch them. Wasted light, almost nothing comes out of that, only for the little stars. And the purple light is right down there, it seems. And just a tiny bit in here, but not from that strand, from this strand that goes all the way through here. So I need to trace those wires and simply try to unplug them and see what happens. Hopefully I can run this without the purple light, and that would be great. Unplugged it. Hopefully there's nothing in series to lose even more light. If it is, we'll deal with that, but hopefully they are in parallel, but we'll see now. And yes, we lost more light, as you can see in here, not only the purple part. We lost the whole thing on the outside right here. Because we have two outputs and somehow these are actually balanced. Yes, so only the middle part is actually working at this point. Whew, that sucks. Managed to do some reconnections in here. So on each output, the strands, all of them are actually in series, but the individual parts on them, segments, are actually in parallel. So it doesn't matter that you completely take out one of these things, the ones that are still plugged in will continue to work. So I simply took out both of the input and output from the one with purple and blue LEDs. So at this point I only have nice light on here, but I lost illumination from this part altogether, from the moon. So what I'm thinking now, to figure out from this which are actually the wires responsible for the purple part, and somehow bypass that strand, give voltage to the rest of this thing, but just bypass the purple. The blue, it's okay, I don't mind it. I'm going to let it light up. So we'll see. I'm expecting, let's unplug this, don't play with voltage like that. I'm expecting either white or yellow to be for the pulper, and the middle I'm expecting to be a common wire on all of these strands. The middle seems to be gray for all of them. Hopefully that makes some sense. So I'm just going to unhook from this connector one of the wires and see when I actually stop purple. Haha, I did it. As you can see, no more purple, it's just blue light in there, which is, or you might be thinking there is a bit of purple in there. It does look like there is a bit of purple, but not from this LED strand. So I'm not sure what gives the faint purple glow. Maybe even the blues have a bit of purple in them, but way less than what it was before. And if you look from this side, it's blue all day long. So maybe just a tiny bit of purple coming also from the blues, which is a bit weird, but they are quite close together in the wavelength, so nothing that I can do about that. Anyway, don't mind it compared to what it was before. So basically the yellow wire is responsible for the purple, but now I actually also cut half of the power to this thing on the outside. So I need from this connector to somehow pass the, actually from here I need to take the yellow wire, stop it, and basically plug into it directly the yellow wire of the rest of this thing. So just bypassing the chain with the purple and letting everything else work, if that makes sense. You know what, friends? I don't want even a hint of possible UV light. So what I'm doing at this point, taking the strand from here, which is non-UV, and another strand from the inside for another set of these little stars, and transplanting them into the moon part of this. So from those stars, transplanting them into the moon part of this thing. Okay. Chinese stuff once again. Jesus, how can they sell it? Why do they sell it? On the white LEDs there is absolutely no phosphorus. As far as I know, most LEDs produce a bit of UV light basically, and you rely on the phosphorus to absorb it and convert it to normal light that doesn't affect you. Well, on this strip, as you can see, nothing. Absolutely nothing in there. So there is a huge chance those things are leaking some UV light. And now these strips are fairly well glued in here, so I'm not even sure if I can remove them without damaging them, but I'm sure as hell going to try because I have no other option. This is not an easy process by any stretch of imagination. As you can see, I need to force this screwdriver to unglue this. I have a high chance of damaging some LEDs and having some areas that are non-functioning, but anyway. So I already took out a strip from this and put it from here all the way up to here in this moon part. Intention is to continue the rest of it with the strip that is right here, and these stars will no longer be lit up because I'm not using those blues and purples and whatever they were for anything ever again. So yeah, hopefully in the end it will still look good and be way safer. So don't trust anything that's coming from China, and don't buy your light fixtures from them. No, buy them from reputable brands, honestly. Your eyesight is more important than any cost saving or any feature that they try to sell you or whatever. Honestly, at this point, my eyes are hurting a bit just by looking at the light fixtures for a few minutes to figure out what to do with it, to fix it. So, whew. And I'm talking from personal experience. I had a blind spot for about a week after I played around with an array of UV LEDs. So no, that's no fun at all. Hopefully this time there will be no permanent effects, just this a bit of pain in the eyes. It's like looking into a welding arc. It's not funny at all. So avoid it at all cost. As you can see, I actually needed to solder the two strips together. We have the direction arrow, you can see it here and you can see it here. So we are following the correct path. In theory they should work, because this second strip actually had wires at both ends, so it was a series connection to other strips. So I needed only one connection, and at the end of it, I'm actually going to solder all of these three contacts together, camera focus, to tell it that it's the end of the strip, basically. Transplant completed. The interior strand is the one that I put in. It was a pain to get it in there. Soldered the end, as I was telling you, to tell it, okay, now you have a contact you can light up, because that's what you basically do. Middle with both sides, you close the circuit. So yeah, that's the way this thing works. The last one needs to be closed like that. Plug it in. Woohoo, full brightness. Okay, didn't even lose a piece of it. Okay, that's awesome, freaking awesome. Let's see. And it's even working. Oh man, this is awesome. It's doing exactly what I was hoping, to be a different color from the exterior. and it is. During the cycles, the programs, it is a different color. When it needs to dim, it dims. Whew. Awesome. A piece of crap UV strand right here. That's going to be thrown away. Don't care about it anymore. If you want to blind somebody, this is the way to do it. They won't even realize it. Now let's put everything back together. This will be just a pass-through strand in series with the... which one of them? Out of the socket. With the shorter one. This interior one is a bit shorter, so this one will be in series with that one. And the load on this will be lower because all of this is cancelled. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, let's try and put everything back together and hope for the best. Ready to test. All of this no longer required. A few wires and the crap part of this, and in theory this is even more efficient now because it doesn't have internal LEDs that shine just through some small star cutouts in there. So all of the LEDs actually shine in the parts that give light on the outside. Still not efficient at all, but more efficient than what it was before. And way safer without blue and purple and UV and whatnot light. Look at this, they barely have any phosphorus on them. Yikes. Let's see, sparks or no sparks? Ooh, no sparks. Cool. And the moon is exactly another color compared to the rest of them, which is perfect. I will show you in a moment with the full thing, but I can still see through the plastics that the moon is a different color from the outside contour, which honestly is great. This is what I'm talking about. The moon is a different color in the color changing modes. These stars still getting some secondary light. Those are getting as they were getting before, and those, well, they are more like moon craters now than stars, but I don't care. The rest of the modes, whew, if I could actually unplug this thing. Everything is working as intended. Whew. Okay, this was a handful. In the end, I'm going to go install it. Feel much safer now, although it's still a ticking time bomb because it's Chinese quality and who knows for how long that driver inside will work, but when it fails we will get another one. Yeah, I hope my eyes are okay. They hurt way less now, so presumably they are okay. And that's about it. I'm going to show you this thing on the ceiling and be done with it. And it's finally done. This thing going through all the motions, installed on the ceiling and not causing blindness. And I want to report that my eyes seem to be okay, no more pain, no eyesight loss, but yeah, I like the way these light fixtures look, but the safety of them, atrocious. So that's about it for this video. Get it if you want to tinker with it and modify it the way I did, but don't get it if you want to just use it the way it was. That's so simple. So hope this video helps somebody out there make a decision, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.